What's up guys, Chris from 4K Motoring here, and today we've got a pretty big video for you guys. Well, as you can see behind me here, we've ordered some new seats for the Corvette. We went with the Corbeau A4 seats. I'm sure you can search online and find a ton of these review videos, a ton of the install videos, so I'm not going to stress over those details a whole lot. But what I will tell you is I was a bit concerned with finding the right seat. I know the narrowness of the seat pan in the floor pan in the Corvette doesn't leave a whole lot of options. The A4 was recommended for that application with a little bit of a twist in installation. They do have direct fit seat tracks, the sliders, for the C5 Corvette, so that's pretty nice. A lot of people use these, so we'll go ahead and open them up and see exactly what we got here. All right, we've already opened up the top of the box here, so let's go ahead and get these seats out and see exactly what they look like. So I will say right off the bat, these seats are not super heavy. They're not carbon fiber one-piece light, but they definitely, I believe, are going to be lighter than the motorized heavy leather seats that are currently in the Corvette. So that is definitely a plus. Now that we got them out of the box, let's go ahead and open one up here, see how it looks, make sure it fits, look at the fit and finish on it. It's currently raining outside, so our installation may be delayed a little bit in this video, but at least want to get one out to show you guys and give you my thoughts on it. So here it is. See, we can see our mounting hardware is pre-installed in the bottom of the seat. We're going to use those when we actually get our seat brackets mounted to the seats, which we may do here in this video. We'll go ahead and keep getting it disassembled. Well, there it is. That is the seat. Obviously it passes my test. It does come with stickers, so you know it's a good product here. But we'll go ahead and take a look at it. I'll bring you guys in to show you exactly what you get. I paid right at $1,100 for these seats. The only upgrade I did was for the micro suede, basically the synthetic suede Alcantara type material. So overall, I really like the way these things look. I'll bring you in here. Here is the Corbeau A4 seat. This is in the micro suede. This is a reclining sport seat. Show you all around it here. See the stitching. See, it's got these vinyl areas, the synthetic leather. It's really vinyl for the high wear areas, so they should last a good bit. Stitching looks good quality all the way around here. Decent padding. Sitting in this seat, I have to say, wow. The stock C5 seats, I know nobody speaks very highly of them, but they just do not even approach what this seat feels like. The side bolstering for the back, I mean, you are stuck in this seat. The hip area, obviously it's a reclining seat. It doesn't have some of that bolstering that a true one-piece race seat would have. But as far as a sport seat to get in and out of every day and also be comfortable for long drives, hold you in when you hit the canyon roads and the twisties, I'm very impressed by these seats. The leg bolstering is good. The back bolstering is fantastic. And at least sitting here, they do feel quite comfortable. The rear cushioning feels very comfortable. Don't feel like I'm sitting on a piece of plywood or anything like that. So pretty impressed. I definitely think it was a good thing to do for the car. As you'll see, these are reclining rear seats here. So you can see there's the handle. pretty easy movement, solid adjustment, spring tension there. So normally this is the driver's seat with the handle on the outside, you know, like any normal vehicle. Passenger seat will have it on the opposite side. These are sold as a set. For the Corvette, just the way that floor pan is designed with the center tunnel and the rocker panels, you actually have to reverse the seats. So the brackets, the actual seat brackets, are going to be labeled correctly for driver side and passenger side, but the seats will be reversed. The driver side seat will go on the passenger side bracket and vice versa. So it'll be a little bit different with the handle on the inside towards the center column, which is not what most people are used to. But I don't know about you, I generally set my seat once and I kind of leave it that way, so I don't really consider that a big deal. Likewise, these are not power seats. That's not an option for these. So again, in my mind, that's not a big deal. I'm the only one that drives my car. I leave the seats in their one position and I don't move them. So having all those heavy motors doesn't really benefit me at all. So just keep that in mind if that's something that you do use a lot. These may not be the best solution, but overall, I'm very impressed so far. So the seat brackets come in 2 boxes that are taped together. And again, this is for the C5 Corvette specifically. These are the brackets here. So you can see they're double sliders and they're labeled. So they're labeled PS for passenger side. What we're going to do first is go ahead and get the mounting hardware out of the seats. These are 6mm bolts right here. There's 4 of them, so we're going to take those out. We've got slots here that they can access. There are a couple of different mounting points for each one here, so we'll see what we're able to do as far as positioning. Just so you guys know, I am 5'8", 5'9" with shoes on. Weigh right at 160 pounds with a 32-inch waist. So these seats seem very snug on me. I wouldn't say for somebody that's much bigger than me that they would fit. There is a wider version of these seats that if you're obviously much bigger than what I've just said, it may be something for you to consider. They also have an option to shave an inch of foam off the base pan or the bottom pan of these seats. That way if you're taller than I am, or a taller person planning on wearing a helmet, something like that, that does give you the room for that. Along with that, you can, as I've seen, you can shim the mounting hardware with a couple washers to get you either angle or a little bit extra height from the mounts. But you can see, I mean, they are a couple inches high just by themselves. So let's go ahead and see what they look like just mounted up with no shims, just straight to the seat, and see how much room we do have. And we'll go ahead and start taking these bolts out. Okay, with those out of there, go ahead and look at these tracks. As you guys can see here, there are 3 mounting holes for the seats. Because I'm, again, not the tallest person at about 5'9" with shoes on, I'm gonna go ahead and start with this front mount here, just to make sure we have enough. The front bolts just snug down, not overly tightened yet, just in so the slider's not gonna hit them. We'll go ahead and move this whole mechanism up to get the bottom bolts in. Go ahead and put the back of the seat in first, the back of the rails, because they have a defined point. Then with that, our frame is on. Let's go ahead and flip it over and see how it looks. So you can see directly compared, frame versus no frame, how much higher they sit in the front. The back doesn't give you a whole lot of extra, but you can kind of get an idea there of where the bottoms of the seats are. So I was a little concerned. I do have the seat in my Corvette up pretty high because it has the height adjustment, just so I can see the head-up display because the way it sits. So I was a little bit worried that these seats wouldn't be tall enough and I'd have to shim them. But looking at them, I think they're going to be okay. So that's not something I'm really worried about right now. I'll let you guys know as we get them in the car whether that's true or not. But so far, I'm quite impressed with them. I think they're going to work great. Well, with that, we are finally done with the install of the seat tracks. So these things are ready to go in the car. The only thing we have to do yet is switch over the seat belt That's gonna go, as you can see, there's a little stud on both sides there. We're gonna reuse the factory hardware and factory pieces from the car, so we need to take them off the old seats. But otherwise, these things are ready to go. And man, they look good in person. They definitely feel a whole lot better than those factory C5 seats. So let's go ahead and get them in and see how they look. Well, now that the rain has finally stopped and we still have a little bit of daylight, we're gonna go ahead and do the install of these seats. Like I said, you've probably seen these before. This is a very quick thing. There are only about 4 bolts that hold each one down here. I'll show you. On the back of the seats here, 1, 2, and then there's 2 in the front. Little covers over them, those come out. And then the seat belt will have a little bracket we'll take off and redo, but I'll show you guys that in a minute. These are a 5/8. Okay, those are out. These front bolts have these plastic covers on them. There's a little push pin in here that we can pop out. Okay, there's one. Okay, there's both of those. These covers just pop out. They just slide straight forward. Set those aside, and there we are. We have access to these bolts. Go ahead and break them loose here. So with that, the seat is now unbolted from the car. We'll go ahead and pull it out. There's going to be one plug for the electrical connectors underneath each one, since they're both power seats, but otherwise they should come right out. So there were just these 2 connectors plugged in under the seat. So those have been removed. And from what I've read, they shouldn't throw any codes under here, under the new seat. So it can just remain unplugged. Go ahead and vacuum some of this up now that we have an opportunity to clean under the seat. Could find some money, so that's nice. Well, here they are side by side. You can kind of see the difference. So from the height I had my seats, you can see they're pretty equivalent, which is the one thing I was really concerned about. The back end here is actually a little bit lower than the Corbeau, but the front end of the stock seat's a little bit higher the way I had it. That can be fixed with shims. We'll go ahead and try it out beforehand. And we can see that the condition of these seats aren't really all that bad. It's just those bushings in the motor mount that let them slide around and give you, you know, a false sense of, or not a false sense, a poor sense of confidence, because the actual seat will shake just like that as you're driving. And these side bolsters, I mean, you can see this is flat. This doesn't have a lot to it. These, while adjustable, I mean, nothing compared to the Corbeaus. So for the seat belt, we just have one single bolt we have to get off and just transfer that hardware to the new seat. For those of you curious, this is an 18mm bolt right here. So this is the nut here. You can see there's a little nylon bushing in there that the seat belt rides on. So we'll make sure we keep that together. There is a power cord for, I guess, the seat belt sensor under here. We will go ahead and remove that. Well, there's always little Easter eggs when you clean a car to this level. This name tag was stuck under the seat. It is magnetic. So Julian Connolly, if you're out there, I have your car now. So this seat belt goes on pretty easily. The one thing we're not gonna have is whatever this plug goes to, so we may end up with a code for the seat belt or a light on. So we'll go ahead and try and figure that out here as we go. We'll go ahead and tighten this down. As you can see, the seat belt now goes on the side with the height adjustment or the back adjustment for the seats. And that's just a space related thing for the car. All right, that is on. And with that, the seat is ready to go in. So with that, let's get the new seats in here. seat is in. See, it's a little bit of a squeeze, especially around where the seatbelt hump is the tight part. That's why you couldn't have the seat facing the other way and why you can't have a lot of the sport seats. But otherwise, fits right into the mounting holes as it's supposed to. So we'll go ahead and tighten it down and see how it adjusts and how it feels. So now that this seat is in snug, we'll go ahead and adjust it forward kind of how we want it. So I'll give you kind of my thoughts on it so far. The height that I was worried about seems just fine. I don't think there's an issue there. It's plenty tall, even without shims. That's not really a problem. The length on it, what I'll tell you is I have a 30-inch inseam. As I said, I'm with shoes 5'9", and this seat, if it was back any further, would not be comfortable to drive as far as pushing the clutch in. If you're on an automatic car, not a big deal. But on the manual car, I am extending pretty far just to get the clutch in right now. And I don't think, if this seat was any farther back, I don't think they would work for me. So just keep that in mind for what it's worth. Man, they do feel so much more supportive. Still able to get in and out of the car, which is good, unlike some of the one-piece seats. But man, I don't think I'm gonna be coming out of these seats anytime soon. So let's go ahead and finish up the install and show you what it looks like all together. Well guys, we are done. Both seats are in, everything's secured. The passenger side was a little bit more difficult to get into the driver's side, just the way the floor pan is designed. It was a little bit of a tighter squeeze. Didn't really require any additional tools, but it worked. As I said, the bolts for the seats are 5/8 bolts. The seat belt is a little bit bigger, it's a 3/4 bolt. And the seats underneath the hardware that comes with the Corbeaus are 6mm. So those are the tools you need. It's a pretty easy install. Really, once I was actually working on it, took less than an hour. I think that made a big difference, so tell me what you guys think. And that's a wrap. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is one of the first major upgrades I've done as far as actual driver feel. Keeps you engaged with the car. I think makes a big difference. So let me know if you guys have ever done any of these custom race seats. If you guys use Corbeau or a different brand, what experiences you guys have, especially if you had Corbeau. How did they held up? What did you think about them? Overall, I love them. Big improvement. And we've got more on the horizon here. So stay tuned to 4K Motoring and we'll be back.